McClunky!
McClunky.
Wait, what? McClunky.
We were clapped
You
in,
didn't-
apparently. We were clapped in.
Sanky.
There you go.
Don't give him the power.
He has the power. He has
I
all
came
the
in with
rings of power.
I came in with a joke and it stuck.
Welcome,
I came in with the yolks.
Sam.
Oh,
Welcome
Hey,
everybody
boy.
to our
That's
House
funny.
of the Dragon episode 10 season 1 finale discussion. Oh boy, we are here
Hello.
for the last
We
time.
are.
The last
Well, I
one.
guess
Wait, hold up now. What?
No more TV.
Fucking-
Hashtag
There's a
cancel
guy with a
TV.
gun
The
that
last
just steps
time
into my room.
for 2 years,
last
people. Did
time.
you hear that?
What?
2
What?
years. We're gonna have to wait.
yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna watch anymore.
Like, holy hell. I'm
2 years.
2 years apparently. Like, I might be wrong about that, but I heard that somewhere it's in the summer of 2024 is when it's gonna be coming out. Season 2.
That is too long to wait for a TV show.
But like with what they do with this show, to be fair, like I don't know.
Like, I mean, like the last season of Game of Thrones was that though.
That was like a 3-year wait, wasn't it? Like something like that.
Was it?
I think
Oh,
it was
2
2
years.
or 3 years. It was something like that, and it was not worth it. It was
No.
absolutely not worth it.
I mean, I guess if it means giving the VFX artists a rest, I'll take the break.
Hello, Ghastly
Yeah.
Grey and Nalan Creed. Welcome to the stream, folks.
Hello.
What's up, dickheads? Sorry,
Oh,
that's my chat.
That's Richard attitude. That's Richard. We love you here. Don't worry. You're
Hey,
amazing.
we love you, but also since you're Richard's little children.
my
Hey,
babies.
what's up, man?
I almost yelled like "fuck
His
you," but then
eggs, if you
I
will.
had it like stuck in my mouth for like.
Me too.
10
I was
seconds.
really.
Like, "Fuck!"
I was like
Things
sitting
get
there-
stuck in
I
your
was
mouth
gonna-
often?
I was gonna be like,
Oh.
since you're Richard's little kid, I was gonna be like, fuck you, and I was like, how you guys doing?
I think I rub off on people, man. I make
Yo,
people
yeah, you
meaner.
Only with your.
No, it's
only
funny,
with your
like-
chat, only with yours.
No, like, cause like I got aggressive like when we were playing Phasma last time. I was being
It
mean
was
to
wild.
Richard.
Kaz was cussing people out.
Have you? Wait, I was gonna be like, have you ever seen him play Civ?
Oh, you
have.
beat me to it. You
That's
beat
Yeah,
me to
play
it.
with them.
Yeah, you were in the stream.
Yeah, but that was also a game where Richard was just as chaotic as Kaz was, so he didn't. I don't think
Yeah,
you
I was in that
understood the
case.
problem.
Had the worst time.
Richard, poor Richard.
What do you mean?
man.
Hold up. Poor Richard. What do we?
he
I know.
started.
Yes!
He started a war he could not finish.
Yes,
continued
my
with the
man,
war,
He
and
started
was
the
wiped out.
war.
Oh
Yeah, I know.
my
and
god!
It was
Like,
it was
poor
completely wiped out.
Richard.
I want
Oh,
you
so-
to know,
so
Richard.
now
Like
it's-
we.
Now
I was
it's
saying-
problematic to play a race of bigoted, racist pirate people. Okay. Hashtag
Like-
cancel brutal Richard.
No, it's
He
funny
just
because
had
like
to be
we've
by Sam, too,
we've
the first time.
argued about this so many times in person and
Oh,
out.
man.
Like when I came to Canada, we argued about this shit.
Yeah,
About what I did?
well, about what Kaz did
The
mostly.
whole game. The whole. Wait, what
like,
the fuck, man?
I want to do that again. I want to make another game of that.
We're doing
Like,
it. We'll do it
right.
next in the new year. We'll try to start one up for sure.
We'll
'cause it
start
was-
one
yeah.
up and we will continue playing that on stream
You know,
because that was
The only
really
problem-
fun.
the only problem is that organizing a Civ game is somehow the only thing harder than organizing a D&D game.
yeah.
You just keep it like, once every couple months we come back to this world and we see what's up. We remember, oh shit, this is what I was doing.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Then we yelled at each other.
Richard, you want to actually know
4
something? I don't know
hours.
I don't know if you knew. Sammy and I were like plotting and
Yeah,
scheming
the
behind
fucking
them.
tieflings and the elves were plotting to because me, Sam, and Sammy, and also the gnomes all had like a pact to defeat the tieflings. But apparently the elves and the tieflings had a pact to destroy everyone else.
Hey, say what you want. At least I was honest.
You were on, you were on our side.
We
You
were going to
protecting me, man.
manipulate you, Richard, into being our puppet. We were going. We were going
But-
It's so easy to do that.
But
I'm
you say
literally
that,
a
you say
puppet.
that, Kaz, about like, oh, you can destroy the rest of the world. Bitch, we would have destroyed both of you
We
anyway.
would have come down
I
on both of
disagree.
you with the might of the dragons, the goblins, and the gnomes. So, like, I don't know what you think you could have done.
Your might is nothing compared to the force and the just power that is the tieflings.
Bahamut
Shut your mouth.
will be supreme.
You gave me. Anyway, we're getting off track.
My wild magic will destroy
You
you.
gave me a city right in the middle of your fucking country.
You guys remember
And
House
I
of
had
the
that
Dragon?
big brain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
fucking
so,
focus,
House of the
Focus,
Dragon,
nerds!
guys. What
boy,
did you
howdy.
guys think
Yeah,
of this
hold.
episode?
But before we talk about that for 1 second, 1 second. Tomorrow, when Richard's not here, I guarantee we're gonna have another chaotic Andor discussion because holy shit! Like Richard, you focus us up a lot. I think.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, me too. I didn't for once. I did not watch it at midnight because I just was like, you know what? I'm too tired, Andor. I'll watch it tomorrow.
haven't
What do you guys
watched it
think of
either.
this episode? I liked it.
This,
I
I
hated it.
think,
Loved this episode.
was visually and like artistically. I think this was my favorite
What'd you
like,
say?
episode.
Worst
Artistically,
episode.
Autistically?
artistically. Sorry, my accent makes it sound like I'm saying.
Richard is saying something controversial. We need to know.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
No, I'm just
You don't
kidding.
like
Okay, fuck.
it was great. I was on the edge
Richard.
of my seat.
Richard.
Yeah, no, like, I heard that.
Status
Like,
quo.
I ain't even gonna.
What'd he say?
fucking-
What'd he say?
He said I hated it.
Oh.
And it was
I
just
didn't
like,
I
know.
I
don't
promise.
believe you with this
No.
show, honestly.
I
actually
heard it,
I liked it a lot.
I heard it in the background of everyone talking. I was like, no way. I like felt my stomach sink. The only
No,
thing that
so far this show has been consistently really, really good.
the only thing that I would say about this episode, and it's something I think you said last week, Richard, is that you want the season to be longer because I felt like this would have been the perfect episode 9 because I need to know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no,
next.
this was.
Yeah,
know,
because
like,
they
This
just
is
ended
definitely a
like,
little.
with Amon being like, "Oh fuck," and then that's where it ends.
Like, holy fuck, I need to know the ramifications in
It's
2
like,
years.
even
Holy
s-
fuck.
I watched it with Sai, and even she was like, "That was the end." There's another episode, right? I'm like, "No, that's the one. That's
the
the season
season.
finale."
That's brutal. And
Yeah.
I wanted another episode because I just need to know what the world is doing.
You know, I'm actually okay with this being like the season finale cliffhanger. I wanted more episodes to kind of explain more like who people are, so we can like seeing that little boy. I don't even know his name. Seeing him get nom nom
Luke.
didn't have that much of an impact on me because I didn't give a shit about this kid. I've seen him 3 times.
I'll say right away.
It was the way it was filmed.
I was
I was-
wrong.
Oh yeah,
I was wrong about
was
the child
fucked.
that I thought was going to die because I totally was saying this whole time. I was like, that older brother's going to be the one. He's
I
out.
thought it was gonna be Jacaerys.
Jacaerys.
Boom.
No, I think there was a lot more focus on Jacaerys.
It's Jacaerys because they call him Jace.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Mm.
I'm
Like,
sorry,
you know,
Mr. Fucking.
his
I
names,
watch
come on,
Game of
man.
Thrones.
Yeah, the way that was I don't even know if you can say filmed because it was more of just computer generated.
Yeah.
But the way that was filmed was shocking.
Yeah, no, like my dad was watching it with me, like because I watched it like literally 30 minutes before just now, and my dad he was like, oh no, like half an hour in, like, oh, like I'm like you only got half an hour to go, and then like once it's finished, like I've got to go do my own thing, and so but then like as like the bit like where the storms end, he actually was getting invested. He's like, oh, what's that big dragon? What's their name? What's that? And like, oh shit, they've got dragons. And then he was like to my mom, you see, look, they don't ride horses, they ride dragons. And he was saying shit like that. And I was just, you wait, Dad, just you fucking wait. And then because I knew because I saw a leak, and then it's like, wait, he's dead? I'm like, yeah, Vhagar fucking ate him up. Vhagar's the oldest fucking dragon alive.
Vhagar in the book, it's more ambiguous what happened, but like all they know is that they find Lucerys's body with his eyes cut out on the shore.
Oh, I think that
But-
should have like that would
But
have been
in
interesting.
this, like, I think they found his dragon just ate. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, 'cause, like, yeah, he's got eyes, yeah.
I actually like this better in that case because it was very
Yeah.
clear that he didn't want to do that.
I like
this
that
is a lot more-
both of them were out of control. Like they were
Yeah,
trying to
they're-
get their
they're kids.
dragons to like
They're
do what
kids
they
on
wanted.
dragons. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, like,
this one really cemented how fucking huge Vhagar is too.
dude, yeah, like the whole ending of this episode on Storm's End, when he lands and you're like, okay, cool, you got a dragon, you have power, but then
And then you see
Vhagar's
Vhagar.
shadow like rises up.
Yeah,
Holy
like,
fuck.
like some Godzilla shit.
Bigger than the
When I
fucking
saw-
like walls and shit.
It was
filmed
horrifying.
so beautifully.
Yeah,
too.
like that
it
was
was
so good.
It felt like a horror movie.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
whole
no,
that entire
straight up.
sequence.
Because like the reason like he lost control is because like Vhagar has seen like war, like he's seen
Yeah,
fucking
but
battle before.
like I'd imagine like it's almost like PTSD. Like yeah, like there's, like, a
Arax,
PTSD
Eric's
response.
was just trying to like
self-defense.
protect himself because he's like, I've
Yeah.
never seen this shit before, I'm scared. And
See,
then like
I-
Vhagar's like, this fucker just attacked me, he's dead.
See, I see. Yeah, like you're saying PTSD in a sense, but I'd see it as just primal, right? Like these are just
Well,
creatures.
Yeah, no,
that are,
yeah, like it's
Well,
like
yeah,
like
it's more like what not, it's more of what he was trained to do for war.
Yeah.
Like, if something attacks him, his instinct is to fucking kill that
Yeah, like-
thing, you know?
Well,
Like-
sure,
like,
like,
I don't
I
know
get
if,
that that's
like-
like trained per se, but I didn't get that necessarily because like the training aspect, I see more of it just being like instinctual to be like.
That's how I
Kill.
took it as well.
I
like-
think it's like
Yeah,
a good mix
like-
of both, honestly.
I like going back to what like Rhaenyra
Like,
says
it
that
wasn't
their
listening
dragons.
to Aemond at all, right?
Not even
Yeah.
that. Like Rhaenyra mentions, like their dragons aren't trained for war. Only one of them is, and it's Vhagar.
That's
Actually, Sea Smoke as well. Sea Smoke as well.
Well, there's that, and the whole fact that like while they're doing this, they're in a huge like storm, right? Where I doubt that even their commands are being carried that well in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Daemon's dragon's probably trained for war as well.
The situation that
Daemon's dragon has certainly seen war. Vermithor is also another ancient dragon, like really big, but not nearly.
It looked fucking old.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of that dragon so badly. Holy crap!
I definitely got the impression that this was like a primal like wolves in a pack establishing a pecking order kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Vhagar was like, no, like I'm the boss here.
Yeah,
I wish
But
that
I thought it was really cool how like it's very clear that neither of them have control, and
Yeah.
even God, what's his name? Aemond? I can't remember which one.
Aemond, yeah, the one I
Aemond. Seeing Aemond actually look like upset, like, oh shit, what have I done? I thought was great.
Yeah. It added a lot because I think from what you guys are implying, like in the books, it sounds like way more like it was just purposefully done. But I way prefer the aspect of it being like, oh fuck, what I just did is going to have
the impression
huge
I get from him
ramifications.
Is that he's a shithead and he's a bully, but I don't think he wants to like murder his family.
Yeah, no, I think more he just wanted to like scare him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's just a big
I think
bully.
he genuinely did want to cut out his eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably. By the way, the sapphire looked sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
I really wish, like, and I know this is just not how these things work, right? But like in that situation, if I were Luke, I would have fucking been like, "Yo, we're gonna hide in this goddamn ravine for a bit, Arax. We're not going
That's
out.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah,
do parkour right there."
Before you move on for a second, like there was like with like Aemond. Sorry, I was muted for a second. I was just trying to say something, but I didn't realize I was muted. With Aemond, like with like the look and stuff, like it goes back to like Rhaenyra as well, like when Rhaenys when she didn't kill Aegon during his coronation. It's like because kinslaying is like one of the most despised laws against the gods in Westeros and the world of Game of Thrones. Kinslaying is like one of the most just despicable things you could do. So I think that's what I like. To me, like I think I don't like it when people like when people are like, oh, well, that was out of character. Like no.
Exactly.
Right.
This is very in world. Like Rhaenys as a character,
even out of that world,
lost a family.
In the real world. Like I keep seeing so many people are like, why did they just kill this person? And it's like, could you just kill your aunt just instantly? You could just do that. You could just kill one of your family members and be cool with it.
Yeah.
Like don't lie. No, you couldn't.
Like even if like she hates Alicent and stuff. Like that's still like her favorite cousin's children. Still,
exactly.
Like that's like her only family's family. Like there's like it's not.
Yeah, that's what I think makes the stakes so much higher in the Civil War.
If anything, especially I think for Rhaenys, because her family has died. Her sons and her daughter both wiped out. Like I think, or like to her knowledge at least. Like so, if anything, if any one character like wouldn't kinslay or dare to want to kinslay, it'd be her.
Speaking of her, my boy Corlys is back.
Oh,
let's go, baby!
And what a great return it was too, because that actor kills it as this character.
He's so fucking good.
Probably my favorite character in the show. I just love him. Everything about him. I love his house. I love the way he looks. I love how he acts.
The way he carries himself.
They're planning on making a sea snake show.
Ooh.
What? Really?
I just love. I love that he's like this freaking like pirate lord. He's just so cool. He's got this swagger about him that I love.
As soon as like in the show they're like, oh, the sea snake's fever broke. I was like, fuck yeah, he's coming back.
I knew they didn't kill him off screen for a reason.
Even with like what he was coming up with at the end there, because like he came in clutch, being like, this time I fortified or whatever he said. I fixed the narrow sea situation.
I like how he's just like. He's like, yeah, you killed my brother, but fuck you, you're the better option, I guess.
Like no, like that, like, and like the way, like, because he plays her in a way almost like he's making her like he did the same with what's his name, Viserys as well, like where he like kind of makes him like pulls him along before he gives his like his approval. I think it's interesting to do that again.
Go
on.
Vermithor is the third largest dragon next to Valerion and Vhagar.
What was the big scary black one?
Valerion.
Oh?
Okay,
No, but
I
like,
thought it
what,
was
the skull.
the cannibal.
That's why
Yeah,
I was
thought-
hoping.
Oh,
for
you're
something
on. You're
like that.
you're on about the one in the cave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
Vermithor. Yeah, I thought it was cannibal when I saw it first as well.
Yeah, because he had the crazy teeth. I was like, yo, that one's
Yeah, he's all
gnarly.
jacked
It's
up
gotta
looking.
it's gotta be cannibal. Nope, apparently not.
Cannibal. There's a dragon named Cannibal.
Yeah.
I think he eats other dragons. Or it
It's
would
one of the
like
wild-
they could.
Yeah,
There's-
like
yeah,
there's
they
3
couldn't-
wild dragons under the keep,
because
right?
I was like, if
And
you're
he's one
gonna
of them,
get if you're gonna get a dragon to fuck up other dragons, I'd be like, yo, call in cannibal or some shit
right?
like that.
That's the
No,
one.
but like it was one of the dragons they could never tame. They couldn't
Throw
eat.
him out.
It
Just
was-
throw him out into, when Vagar
Yeah,
shows
because
up.
they
be
said
like,
they
there
have
you go.
3 wild dragons. I think Cannibal is one of them. Because they have 14 dragons in total. Well, 13 dragons now in total.
And the other team only has 3, right?
They only have 3, but one of them is
Three
Vagar,
better
which
ones,
is the
though.
biggest one. Yeah, and they're all bred for war, I believe.
Boo! Down with them.
But like on their side, they have Vermithor, they have Caraxes, and like the fucking 12 or 11 other dragons. 2 of them are bred for war, and 11 others that they could train. You know, like
Man, I want Rhaenyra so badly to just take Corlys and Rhaenys and be like, I did not kill Laenor.
Yeah, no, I want that too.
I just so badly want her to let them know that he's alive, and then that would just end any bit of bitterness that they have left for her.
I honestly think that'll happen in season 2. Like, I genuinely think that they're gonna have a conversation like that.
I think we'll see old Lenny again for sure.
I don't.
I
think
hope
so.
we don't see. If we see him, then he's dead. Like, then he's dead for real. Like, I would be very.
I think we'll see him just because his dragon is still alive and got name dropped
Yeah.
in this episode, and I
I
expect
thought it was
that
interesting that
that'll
they did that.
happen.
Yeah,
Because I thought they would have
it's-
let Sea Smoke would have went with him.
we
Yeah,
we
well-
still have to figure that situation out and how that's all gonna
Be-
work.
because they don't because would Sea Smoke like accept
Sea Smoke would. No, exactly. Sea Smoke wouldn't bond to another one.
Yeah, I
Unless
think
like
once
that's
they
the
bond, they're
reason they've
bonded
been
for life.
foreshadowing it. That's maybe why they were foreshadowing that, like they don't bond, because maybe Sea Smoke will be the first one to ever do it. But I don't know who Sea Smoke would bond to.
But maybe like I get that Sea Smoke and dragons inherently are like more magical to their rider's connection or some bullshit like that. Like, so he knows that he's not dead, but maybe he doesn't. You know, like I don't know, like maybe,
That could. That's fair. Like with the distance, maybe like yeah, like it severs that connection.
maybe he feels.
Well,
like
I
he is
wouldn't
dead.
want it to.
I know. That's why I really wish. Originally, I wish that Sea Smoke had fucked off. I wish that they had shown that. where
Yeah.
it's like he died.
Yeah.
And then Sea Smoke was like, "No, I'm leaving," and they were all like, "That's really weird. That's never happened before."
Yeah.
when one of them died.
Like kind of like the scene in Game of Thrones season 5 where like they're traveling through the Doom of Valyria and you just see not Valerian, Drogon fly over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where you'd be like, "What the hell is he doing?"
I don't think Laenor is gone for good, and I think
no,
this is the
definitely
case
not.
because right now when we have in the original show, remember when Gendry just hopped in a rowboat and just fucked off for 4 seasons?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I don't think that they'll do that again
But like
because
that
it's,
was
it's the same thing.
But that was a very
Laenor's in a boat,
But that was
gone.
a purposeful like when that happened to Gendry, it was like see you later. Like that wasn't like a you're going off to fuck off and do your own thing kind of thing. That was like a see you later in the show kind of moment when Gendry went.
Yeah,
on the
I
boat.
just I can't imagine a show like Game of Thrones is gonna have a character who's got very important lineage just leave and never come back, and he's got one of the most powerful creatures in the world at his beck and call. I just don't see that happening.
But like because like I don't because in the books that's like they don't know if he's alive or dead.
right. So
That's
like
why that's what I'm got. Like that's I'm assuming they're gonna follow the source material.
yeah,
I
like
think
in the
they'll
sense
change
that like
it to a degree.
but in the sense that like if he came back, it would be a really big deal in the text, right? Like they would probably be like, "Oh
Yeah,
shit!" Like,
exactly,
Rhaenyra
they would
came
be like,
back
yeah.
and actually didn't die that many years ago, however long it's been.
I just love Laenor, man. I
I
don't
do
want him
too.
to go.
No,
No,
but
yeah,
I
Laenor,
want him
yeah.
gone so that he stays alive. Because if he comes back, he's dead. Like he's for sure gonna die.
His whole family, dude. The Valarians are like my favorite people in this show. I just love all of them,
Yeah, all like
except for the douchebag brother. That guy sucked.
yeah, the brother was kind of a dickweed, but yeah, like Rhaenys, Corlys, their fucking performances like are so interesting to watch in the show the whole time.
Yeah.
That I was immediately suckered into this family. Yeah, I'll
I love that they're like a power couple too. Like
Yeah.
they get along and they work well together. Like seeing Corlys, declare loyalty to Rhaenyra and he's like looking over at Rhaenys the entire time because like that's a very clear like husband and wife. Like, are we in this together? All right, we're in this together. Let's go.
Is Daemon like inherently Rhaenyra's hand? Like, is that just the deal there, or like? Because I was thinking like if she wanted to be a baller,
I think
she should-
Corlys.
Okay, I was gonna say Corlys, or she should have named freaking Rhaenys her hand or something like that. I would have been like,
Rhaenys would be a good hand.
Like, I love
By
that
the way,
idea.
I told you guys that Damon's an unhinged asshole.
Yeah, fuck.
Nah, Daemon, this fucking. See,
Hey,
that's the thing that
I'm
pisses me
still
off.
on his side, man.
That's what pissed me off. Because like at the beginning of the episode, it's so sweet the way because like it's similar to like with Viserys' crown when he gives Viserys back his crown. It's just like that scene. But then he goes and be a fucking asshole, fucking
Yep.
stupid, fucking
The
bitch.
showrunners, I think, wanted to show us that like Daemon is not a good guy.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, sorry, I also have to make this point. Fucking Aemon, fucking serving looks. I'm just saying, sorry. That coat he was wearing, banging.
Oh,
Sorry.
I know, right?
looks
God
fly.
damn,
That
I want
fuck-
that coat, dude.
like-
Looked amazing.
That was a look.
He looked like a
Like I was
Bloodborne
like, shit.
character.
That's reminded me of Time actually when I was like that silhouette striking.
I keep learning more and more that
Looks
Richard
good.
likes shit that I like a lot.
Bloodborne's one of my favorite games of all time.
God damn it, Richard! I just beat that again.
Yeah, I love that look. I don't think I've ever seen like a proper like highwayman coat in Game of Thrones.
That was a
So it was
highwayman.
really cool.
Such
to see
a-
that.
On the
Long
coast
road
road,
I did ride,
Oh, dragon, I did ride.
with sword and pistol at my side.
Crossbow
And
man,
DMCA
crossbow.
strike.
We're
Streams
not that
canceled.
good. We're not that good. They can't catch us.
Yeah, like we're fucking, we're just fucking going off.
Doing the rock band version where you'd hum into the microphone like.
So something I was thinking in this episode because the memes all over the internet are that we've even joked about it that Crispin looks the same age as he did like 15 years ago, but Rhaenyra has aged up significantly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think because I started to look at it more this episode, like I guess kind of study her face more. And looking at the actress that plays her, I don't think she looks older. It's just the white hair.
Yeah,
The white hair inherently makes her look
Yeah.
older.
I will say, I think like this episode specifically, she looked older, but like mature is where I'd put it. Not like as in she's fucking 50, 60 and shit.
Like,
But like,
without looking it up, how
like-
old do you guys think that the actress actually is? Like, because like
she's like 30 something.
I look some.
Early 30s.
I think that she's 28. I swear, or was that Olivia Cook? It was one of the two.
No, Olivia Cook's our age or
Yeah,
my age.
she's
sorry, I
28.
think.
And that, like, I was like, God damn.
I ain't 28, son.
No, she's 30. No. I'm telling you, Olivia
30.
Cook is
I
28.
fucking nailed it. dude. I
Oh,
said
Olivia.
30 years
Oh,
old.
Olivia Cook. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you
Nailed
meant
Well, I'm saying,
Millie
I'm
Alcock.
saying both of them. Like, I'm saying like the other
Millie
one.
Alcock's 22. Oh, she's 22.
Ooh.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about Emma Darcy. Emma Darcy is 30.
Yeah, Emma Darcy's 30. Yeah.
But
I
still,
fucking
like,
nailed that on the head, dude.
No, yeah, no, like I will also say like she like I think as like who they picked for like to be the replacement, they look like in especially this episode, they looked very like
Kristen
I
Cole.
like it looked like she like this is Millie Alcock aged up. Is the way I
Kristen
would
Cole's
describe it.
actor's name is the fucking lame Fabian Frankel.
yeah, I
What
remember seeing
what
that,
a
yeah.
name!
The fucking
Sounds like a
dumbest name.
halfling name.
You could say the same kind of thing between Damon and Kristen, but like I don't know. I also feel like I see more visual changes on Damon as we're going. You know what I mean? Like he
Well,
looks
Matt
older.
Smith is an ageless vampire. in
Matt
real life.
I
Smith,
get you,
like-
But if you look at like episode 1 to now, I think they've done a good
Matt
job
Smith
at showing
looks
some
like
stuff.
he's like 50 years old. He's 39, which isn't far
The
off. but,
light, I'll fucking
he
say
looks
the
like
lighting.
he could equally be 50 and 25. It's
He was very smooth in the first episode, but they gave him more wrinkles, like in this new one,
Yeah.
for sure. Like he's
The
got, like,
lighting. Sorry, I was gonna say like the lighting in this episode made him look fucking ancient.
Yeah.
In sections, like when he like goes to strangle Rhaenyra, that like he looked like he was like withered.
Man, maybe that's
in
just
that
their
moment.
kink. You don't know.
I think like that firelight doesn't help on that front because I think that was the scene that made
Yeah.
both of them look a lot older than they were.
I think it was kind of intentional. I
Yeah.
think that it wanted to show them as being like stressed the hell out.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really cool scene. That last scene where it's also by firelight, where Rhaenyra turns around, she just has that like I'm going to
Oh.
burn everything down look.
Yeah.
Yep. The infamous
great.
Daenerys fucking burn it all
Yep.
down. Phase, where it's like, oh shit.
Oh, I
That's
think
how you do
they
it.
called that out too. I think they somebody, I think in this episode of the last one, mentioned like not wanting to rule a kingdom of like ash and bone.
Yeah.
No, Rhaenyra said that.
I thought that was
Rhaenyra
Rhaenyra
awesome.
said that. Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
that was
a great
that was cool.
callback.
Mhm.
Or I guess call forward to what that
Call
was.
forward. Yeah.
But like, yeah, like
To
back to the Damien shittiness thing. Like, yeah, he's shitty. What triggered him to do that again? I'm trying to remember exactly to
Like,
strangle.
he refers
she
to
didn't
how
want to
like
go to war.
That was it.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
I thought that she said something specifically.
no, it was cause like he was like, oh, you're following like my brother's prophecies and shit
Oh,
like
that kind of
Like,
thing. Because yeah, then we learned that like, well, I don't know if we learned necessarily because I thought we always knew this, which is weird that she thought that he knew, but she brought up the whole thing about Daemon like not knowing the prophecy of Aegon or whatever, where it's like, I thought that was obviously just passed down to like heir to heir to heir. You know, you don't just tell people in the family that thing, but
Right.
so I thought that
I
was
think they're
kinda
just
weird.
showing that Daemon
Yeah,
is at the end of the day like he grew complacent when nothing was happening, but when chaos is in order, Daemon is in that.
He's like ready to go. He wants to fight. He wants to kill.
That's all he wants. Like Daemon is not
Hey,
all
man, I'm here
together.
for
When
it,
things
man.
are violent, Daemon is living that. And I think I said earlier, like Daemon is out here for Daemon, and that's it.
Hey man, I'm down for that, man.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah,
It's an
I don't think
interesting
he cares
character.
about the kids. I don't think he cares about Rhaenyra. I think Daemon just wants to do Daemon.
We shall see.
I don't know.
I kind of agree, actually.
I think he does care about Rhaenyra. I think that he does. There is a part of him that really does, but he's also just crazy, and he's got
yeah,
like,
he just he doesn't know.
Maybe if
what he
Rhaenyra
wants.
just showed him her feet, maybe he'll just.
Thank God we didn't have any Laris this episode. I couldn't have dealt with another foot scene. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, did you guys have any complaints about this episode? I've got one.
I've
There
heard a bunch
was
of people online
something.
complaining, but
There was
What
something that
people
bothered
online
me.
do anymore is fucking complain.
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Fair.
I'm trying
Well,
to
but-
I think that's
before
a
we-
good sign. That
Before we get to like that aspect, can I just say though, like there
Oh, go on.
were two really good like what is it called? Like bring in the whole season together kind of moments that made it feel like a poetry. It rhymes. One being
Mm.
Rhaenyra's like
Fucking stillborn.
stillborn. Yeah, like that
Oh,
whole scene.
That's my one complaint.
That was your
Actually, I
complaint?
hated that.
Okay.
You
I'm
hated
I'm
it?
of the opinion that scene did not need to be so damn grotesque.
It
Like that-
didn't. But
what
that is
the
a-
miscarriage.
It was.
Yes, that scene was I feel like just in there for shock value, and that is a remarkably triggering scene for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I agree
Yeah, I think that
to an
one-
extent, but I also think that like it's just I don't know, like I don't know.
I think it's meant to be a callback to her mother.
Exactly.
But
Like I felt like
I
that
think so,
was the
too.
connective tissue between
Yeah,
the
and
first
I don't
last
think that they
episode.
shouldn't have done. I think that the scene just didn't
Just the
need to
way-
be so graphic.
because I think like even like the first one wasn't nearly as graphic in
Yeah.
Right,
in
exactly.
like in the sense, but it was still like I still would rather watch fucking Oberyn's head get popped 10 times, like getting like even worse and worse every time, than see this once. Like we'll see the original,
See,
like, the first miscarriage once.
Now
So
here's-
I don't think they didn't need to make it that much, but I think they could have still like filmed it in a way where it was still terrifying to like witness.
I
Yeah,
agree,
it could have
but,
been a
like,
horrifying scene without being so graphic.
There's something
Yeah.
that I almost, and this is a dark part of me as a viewer of things, but like that's why I watch like The Boys, because I always know that there's a potential thing in that show that's always going to make me go, "Holy fuck! I never wanted to see that in my life." But I don't know. I always
It's
come out
in
of it and
my
I'm like
asshole.
intriguing, you know. Like I always go back to it in a weird, fascinating
Yeah.
way. Like, and I hate it, but it's
I
almost seek
generally
that out.
I'm the kind of person that doesn't really care for like trigger warnings
Yeah.
most of the time. I think people should just watch things for what they are and grow thicker skin. But this is one scene in particular where it's like this is a bit much for any TV show. For anything. This is a horrific event.
But I think
You
that
know,
I
I think-
agree that, but I think that being there for it, like, adds something to certain viewers. I don't know, like
I think
it's not for everybody
No,
for sure.
I just think it didn't need to be, because yeah, I like again like yeah, I think this was like the most visually. I still think the first one is more impactful, and I think like it was very well done the way it was done.
I think so too. I think
This one like
got the
was
point
like
across just fine.
yeah, they could have. I think because like this, I like how this episode had a lot of callbacks to other episodes.
Exactly, yeah.
and I think they could have done like that with the miscarriage scene. I think they were trying to show like Rhaenyra like is like strong even in this moment.
Yeah, like because the whole thing
I'm-
about the fact that she's having to give like orders almost in this scene, and
Yeah.
like she has to almost get this problem out of the way super fast so that she can take charge again because Daemon's doing a bunch of shit behind her back at this point, right? That's like what it felt like for me.
Man, Damon's an asshole.
Man, he's a fucking asshole. Yeah. But even okay, now that scene when the Kingsguard guy is like, should we like, do you want to like get a maester and like see your wife or whatever? He just looks at him like, no. Like, what did you guys get from that? What was that look?
Daemon does not care about Rhaenyra.
Okay, see now when I looked at that, I got more of like a, I've been in this situation before. Like, I feel like he was thinking about Lena, he was thinking about Emma, he was thinking about all these people that have gone through this situation and how like he doesn't want to be around it. You know what I mean? He just wants to fuck off from that. Cause like it's too much. He's not an emotionally it's hard. It's hard.
He's emotionally he's just like he doesn't know how to express himself.
Yeah, he's emotionally stunted. You know what I mean? Like
I don't think he can. I think that Daemon is a textbook psychopath and he doesn't have feelings like that.
No, exactly. I think like that's what makes him the most like such an interesting character.
Exactly, yeah.
And
That's
so like
why
I think they
care, though.
I think
he knows that he's supposed to care, but he's a psychopath and everything he's doing is just he's playing the part. He's acting.
But when I think that he's trying to occupy his brain with something else at that point is what I was getting. What did you think, AJ? What did you think of that part?
Are we still talking about the which part of it exactly?
Miscarriage.
Well, the part where Daemon was like, when the Kingsguard was like, "Yo, like, should we get a maester and like you can go see your wife or some shit like that?"
Or I honestly don't remember that part. I think I blocked that out.
All right, never mind.
I think Daemon in that scene is just like, I'm busy. I have shit to do and I don't care about this.
I'm 50-50. I'm like I agree, but also I think that there's a slight tinge of just because I think that there's a reason that we've seen him go through those situations and then build up to this end point, right? It's kind of like what we're saying with this episode being so circular and like self-referential in this one specifically that it's all coming together and hitting him here.
Oh, that's it. I think it's just he doesn't like it's straight like he doesn't know what he wants. Even when he gets what he wants, he realizes he doesn't want. I think that's what it is. Like a lot of it is like he's just he's he's occupying his time with other things because he thinks he wants like that. It's what I think.
I look at Daemon as kind of like a narcissistic psycho, where like Daemon cares about his motivations and propelling those things forward, and when he can't have them, he becomes complacent and bored. But in this kind of situation, for me personally, what I get out of Daemon and Rhaenyra is that he does not care about Rhaenyra on an emotional level. Everything that I think they've shown with Daemon and Rhaenyra has been Daemon caring about her out of like a sexual frustration. And now he's had that and he's done. He's moving on. Daemon cares about Daemon. So I just don't think he gives a single shit about any of the kids or Rhaenyra. I don't think we've seen him show any love to any of the children.
To the children, no. But I think Rhaenyra it's a little different.
It's weird because I just don't think like they haven't given enough time to focus on it. But I think that is part of like that was a deliberate choice not to
for sure. That's the thing is I think this is good writing and that none of us can really figure him out because it's intentionally left vague. You know, they want people to be like, what is this dude's deal? So I think he's a super interesting character. I think him and Corlys are probably my favorite characters in the show. And they're two ends of the same coin, I think. Whereas Daemon is like unhinged and purely motivated by his own wants. I think Corlys is very focused, almost to a fault, and is willing to sacrifice his own motivations for the sake of his house.
And then
cool characters, good show.
Going back to the other kind of circular point in this episode that I really liked was when Otto confronted Daemon and Rhaenyra on the bridge to Dragonstone. I thought that was awesome, just solely on the fact that like it called back to the earlier episode.
No, exactly, yeah.
Confronted Daemon there in the exact same way. Rhaenyra came in kind of the same way. but this time instead of allies,
It's
she's
different
an enemy, right? And she's using
It was neat.
she's using Cyrax. Is that what it is? Whenever I say
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, hers is
whenever I say that, I think of
yeah.
Mortal Kombat. I'm not gonna lie. But,
I mean, yeah.
like she
I
came in,
think
and that was an
Rhaenyra-
awesome blocker for sure. Like I loved that. Like it was more of a power move there.
Rhaenyra looks fucking amazing in the crown.
That,
Oh yeah.
I also missed something, I think, last episode, because when they like made up the new crown, was that like
That's Aegon's old. That's like Aegon the Conqueror's crown.
oh
That's his original crown.
Gotcha. Okay, fucking gotcha. I figured that would like go the
Like that's
whole way.
why like that's what he mentions. Like Aegon has the Conqueror's crown. Aegon has Blackfire, Aegon's sword, and like all like these like and he's like anointed by the Seven, because like Rhaenyra isn't. And like that's what Aegon did when he landed on Westeros. That was the first thing he did when he landed on Westeros. He like took in the religion he was like, yeah, I am like I will conquer you, but I will be one of you as well. It's like that.
Do you think now that we have the Velaryon fleet, which my understanding is the biggest fleet in the world, and we have dragons, do you think they're going to be like, Aegon kind of forgot about the Velaryon fleet?
Jesus
Swear to God.
Christ. No. I will never watch one of those after episode things ever again, because the stupidity in some of those was insane.
Yeah, I mean that's part of why I think that we will see Laenor again, because I think this show will do everything that they can to avoid drawing comparisons to the original show. The mistakes of the original show, I mean.
Yeah, I
Not
disagree in that. I
well?
disagree though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that like
Hey, Ellie.
Laena ain't coming back.
You don't think Laenor's coming back? Well, then why keep him alive?
That's showing that like they both like loved each other, and like they did like put in like she I think it isn't like Laena was there more so for Rhaenyra's character development than anything else. Is like
I think that he was kept alive to show that Rhaenyra is not like merciless. She has empathy.
And to pull a little bit of like a cool trick on the lore that already exists, right? Where it's like, oh, people think that Laenor died, but in reality, Laenor like was thought to be dead, but actually just escaped and is living a chill life in Essos somewhere, just with his boyfriend doing his thing.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life. And that's what I think is kind of cool, Richard, if anything, where it's like this lineage is just out there doing its own fucking thing. And
I guess I have a hard time believing that Laenor is going to be in Essos and he's going to find out like, oh, my family's at war with each other. I guess I'll just sit this one out.
Yeah,
I feel like
I imagine he's gone to sail and adventure. I'd imagine Laenor is like, adventuring. Like I think Laenor's also like, because like I mean he was still dutiful. I think so. He's like to protect his family. He thinks that like that will be of help.
Like his whole game plan of leaving, I think, like I don't think that anyone didn't think that this was going to happen at one point, right? Like the implication is that everyone kind of feels that war is inevitable, and that like they to get the best situation out of it, they needed to have Laenor leave, and so that she could marry Daemon and get an even more powerful situation, a better standing, right?
Oh, 1 second. There's someone at the door.
I think he knew.
Did she? I don't think she got a better standing out of it.
I
she
think
was
she
still
definitely. Well, I mean,
she was the next in line for succession, no matter what.
Well, but she, even as she put it, right, a better, like if she's married to a Targaryen, it's more like direct and assertive that I am married to another powerful member of the family.
I mean, he's a Velaryon though. They're of the same lineage, you know.
They're not.
I don't think it was a power grab.
They're not.
She just wanted to smash Daemon.
Nah, they're not the same lineage though. It's definitely more of a power.
Yeah, like the Valerians are a different family. They're not like they're in like it's like his similar. It's like how like
they're both just from Valyria. Like that's
I mean they're the only other like old house from ancient Valyria though.
Yeah.
So maybe not technically the same family, but they might as well have been.
But okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. The only reason that Corlys and his whole family situation has dragons in the first place is because of Rhaenys.
It's the Targaryens, yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna bear it back as well.
They would.
Yes, that's kind of what I mean though. Is like by that point they are one big family.
Okay, sure. But I just mean that like Daemon, I think, is just more like cemented in as like a proper Targaryen that like if when they have children, they will look a certain way 100%, and it won't be even more confusing. That like, well, like okay, like suddenly imagine now if like they started having kids between Laenor and Rhaenyra, right? And it was like perfect, you know, like it'd be kind of weird. Like
True.
that's why I really do think, I don't know how this situation ends at all. I feel like Rhaenyra is dying. I feel like her entire line is fucked, and yeah.
Man, I don't know what's gonna happen in the show going forward.
I feel like it's the Aegon ones that win out, and like they're like, "Yo, like you're the actual lineage that goes to Aerys, the Mad King or whatever." And it's like, I haven't looked at any family fucking trees.
I'm glad I didn't bother to learn some of these kids' names because I've thought from the get go that half these kids ain't making it out of this.
Sorry, there's a cop at the door.
Whoa.
He's
like, we heard you liked Rings of Power. You're gonna have to come with us.
You violated the law.
Shit, I'm gonna get a knock at my door soon too, because I've been rewatching that last fucking bit a lot. They're gonna be like, this guy liked it a lot. Holy shit.
Oh shit, he really liked it.
So as gruesome as it was, I liked that when what's the big dragon's name? Vhagar?
Yeah, Vhagar, yeah.
I love that when Vhagar, took his nom nom bite, how like the pieces of the dragon fell. It gave me vibes like this is like pulling the wings off of like a dragonfly or something.
Yeah, I think Kaz said that, like it was like a butterfly when you kill like
a butterfly, yeah.
Boom, the wings just flutter down, and it was like
exact same feeling I got. Like it looked like it was. I think it was intentional to show like these small dragons are like insects to this thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. God, that was so intense. That last part, like I think I was watching this episode and being like, yeah, this is chill, this is okay. But then the whole scene of Storm's End was like on the edge of my seat. Holy crap.
It was filmed so well. Like I feel like too often, especially in shows with heavy CG, they sort of forego the entire concept of tension. And that scene built tension like a mother. Like it took so much longer for Vhagar to like appear than I thought it was going to. Like you knew that Vhagar was after him.
Yep.
But they didn't show him. And it took so long to show him. And because it took so long, I'm like, oh my God. I knew it was going to happen. But they took their time revealing it. And it was, I think it was handled.
I think the whole build-up
was,
very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he walks in, you see Vhagar, and then like as he leaves, he looks over, Vagar's gone. He's like, oh fuck, he's already out. Like.
At that point, I might have been like, okay, I'm gonna like just sit tight for a minute. I'm just gonna act as though I need to really set my dragon up to go. Just wait here. Oh, my dragon! It needs an hour to prep for flight. Like that's what's up. I'm just gonna sit here. It's okay, right, Brad?
My dragon's kind of lame. It needs to set up a lot. So.
Because I ain't fucking flying when I know there's a goddamn Harrier jet or whatever in the sky above me. Like fuck that.
Yeah, my buddies and I, when we were watching that scene, like just like you were saying, Sam, when he flew into the ravine, all of us were like, "Park it, park it!" Like, what? There, why would you keep flying?
Vhagar is big and fat. It could not get in here. Wait.
Well, I mean, he's also big and fat and probably has a shit ton of fire.
True. I guess that's a good point. I think
just hide far down. Don't get seen at all. Just be like, maybe Vhagar will blow fire 100 yards that way, and we'll be fine over here. It's all good.
When the kid flew above the cloud cover too, we all of my buddies and I were like, "Oh, that's it. He's dead."
Yeah, like
now he's got a clear line of sight on you. You're done.
When the leaks happened, I saw like clips of it, but like I didn't I quickly like swiped away because I didn't want to actually see that. But like some of the clips were like of the dragon falling. I thought like when I first saw it, it was just a glance. I thought it was like a whole dragon. So I'm like, oh shit, he could survive that. And then seeing the dragon just like one huge bite out of him, I'm like, oh, he just straight up ate the kid.
There was nothing to survive.
Like he is not surviving that at all.
It was like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Survive that, like comes back, he's like, "I'm all right, mom." As like his arm.
Yeah, no way.
Like, that's fucking bullshit.
Like this kid's
we saw bits falling.
We didn't see
not only
bits.
was it bits, but it's like falling thousands of feet.
Well, that and like we didn't even see proper bits. Like we saw wings. Like I think he was directly eaten. Like he was just
swallowed. Right on him.
like dead on impact. I think pretty much.
That was like a very shocking moment for me.
It was good.
Like it was really good. I was like,
I want to
yeah,
see that in like an IMAX theater. You know, like just that moment, like the last 10 minutes in Storm's End situation. Just give me that in a theater.
Imagine that whole moment in like D-Box.
Oh my god.
I was actually pretty shocked too to see that old Bobby B's ancestor was such a dick.
Baratheons have always been assholes, man.
Like this guy was like I kind of expected him to be loyal, but he like when the kid shows up, he's like, "You bring me nothing," and it's like, what?
Well,
he doesn't have to bring you anything.
Points. He brought up some good points. It's like my father bent the knee. Also, you didn't bring me shit, dude. Like, why should I side with you when you can't provide anything for me?
If he has any sons, they can now offer up the wife that Lucerys was just gonna fucking have, pretty much. So Jesus Christ,
man, the implications. Like, I'm still now piecing together like what is going to happen in season 2.
Right?
I think the Starks are gonna come back.
Yeah, Starks are definitely coming into play. Yeah.
I think it's gonna
be awesome.
Have you guys seen The Wire?
I actually haven't. I've heard a lot of people talk really well about it, though. Yeah.
My goodness, you should watch The Wire. But The Wire follows one long, like, connected story, but every season kind of has like its own small, like, mini story. And I feel like the next few seasons are going to be like that. Like, we're going to be introduced to like some Starks, and we're going to get to follow some of them and see what they're up to, and we're going to get some new main characters.
Yeah.
At least I kind of hope so.
I think
I'd love to see more of that.
Some people were saying that like like Kramen Stark or something like that.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I was about to say, like this show pretty much does nothing but follow like the Velaryons and the Targaryens. But to be fair, the show is called House of the Dragon, so
yeah. And I think that we're going to expand upon that like as the seasons go on, right? I think that's the great thing that Game of Thrones did.
Stark.
Like I think that we're going to be seeing the Aarons, the Starks, and I think that we might even see the Greyjoys. Apparently, like I think they were talking about the Red Kraken is what I've heard a lot about.
I expect to see the Tullys as well.
True, yeah. They were talking about the Riverlands being essential, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'll probably get to see a lot of the great houses from modern Game of Thrones. I think it'll be interesting too to see that they're not so great yet.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think something that would have been cool on the Baratheon point would have been because like that whole thing where like seeing the Baratheons being a shitlord, like yeah, they're shitty, but the previous Baratheon that we had seen in the show, I can't remember what his name was or whatever, but he was the one that in the
Rickon? Oh, Baratheon? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like Baratheon. Just the one that was like in the tournament, and then we saw him with Rhaenyra like at the. Was that the same place? Now that I'm thinking about it, that was probably the same fucking place.
Was it Boros?
Boros, yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, like that was the short-haired guy with the beard. He was cool, and I think he would have probably been receptive of it. It's just that his son is a shitlord. I really wish that what we had seen is like his son alongside his father, you know, being in that dynamic kind of. I think that would have helped.
I'll be right back.
I think like those kind of things kind of help with the connective tissue of the show. Whereas, like, you're always seeing characters and you don't really know, especially with the time jumps, you don't know who's who all the time. You don't know what's going on. If they would just subtly throw them in, like, in prior bits. Like, oh, yeah, this is my shitty kid, fucking Boros or whatever.
That is my overall, like, only real complaint with this show is that I just wish that we had more time to understand who some of these characters are. And I'm sure we will get to know them better as the show progresses. But I felt like season 1 just had so much happen that it could have probably been 2 seasons.
Yeah, I almost think I would have been fine with them doing a thing where the whole first season was the not time jump. You know, like, and then we get the time jump next season.
Yeah, like season 1 could have been like young Rhaenyra, Alicent, and Daemon. And then season 2 is when we see them as adults and they have children. But I also understand, like, they probably wanted to get to the good dragon shit as soon as they could. Because, if we're being honest, this show it's got to fill big shoes and like gross nasty shoes since season 8 left such a bad impression.
Well, honestly, I think that helped the season a lot. I think that like the last season being so bad made it a lot more palpable. Like any problem that this show had was dwarfed by how bad season 8 was.
I think it's easy to look at it like that in hindsight, but I think like the first couple of episodes of this show, I think everyone had that like that oh shit taste in their mouth where it's like, is this gonna suck?
Really?
You know?
I think if you go back to our beginning discussions, we were in love. I have.
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
first 3 episodes,
We
I
almost
love.
immediately fell in love with it. But that's what I mean is like the first few episodes had a lot to prove to get past how bad season 8 of Game of Thrones was. And that's probably why they kind of pushed forward to get to the action, because you can't have a full season of typical Game of Thrones melodrama after season 8 of Game of Thrones. Like too many people are concerned because, like, of course, people like us who are big nerds.
But on that front though, I think that a big problem that struck things like the later bit of Game of Thrones, like 7 and 8, were the overabundance of things like action. So I almost feel like people are more inclined to be fine with a slower burn, like earlier seasons of Game of Thrones were.
I can provide a little bit of insight on that. I think that for people like us who are big turbo nerds who talk about this stuff all the time, for us, we're willing to give it more of a chance. My own roommate watching the show, like 5 episodes in, was almost done with the show.
Jesus.
They were like, this is so boring. And I think that the general audience that doesn't really care about Game of Thrones like this needed more than just Game of Thrones political melodrama. So they had to push forward, because my roommate, as soon as they got to the action stuff, that's when my roommate was like, all right, I'm in. But all the like Game of Thrones stuff was driving them nuts.
What was the action point of the season that like brought him in?
So one of the moments for my roommate was seeing Daemon fighting the pirate people.
Interesting.
That was a nice like, okay, there is action in this.
And isn't that funny
and
that I feel like a
dragons.
lot of the online conversation is that was a bad moment. Like that's like a hilarious counter.
Yeah. And I don't want to suggest that like
no, and I'm just like pointing out how like crazy it is, like the difference.
Yeah. This person wasn't like sold on the show because of that one scene, but I'm just saying that I think that there is a large amount of the general audience that just kind of feels burned by Game of Thrones melodrama and wants to see cool stuff happen. And maybe now that we've seen some cool stuff happen, they can pump the brakes a little bit and give us more. Because I'm in it, just like if I'm playing D&D, I don't care about combat. I care more about like the RP and the story. And I now that we've seen some cool combat, I want the show to pump the brakes and like give us exposition now. Let me get to know some of these damn characters, because there's so many of them. And they all have similar sounding names, and I can't keep up with it because I'm a big dummy.
I'm keeping up pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always had a decent thing with names in Game of Thrones. Like there are some that I'll always forget, but I don't know.
If it were not for this podcast, I would not know anybody's name.
It'd be nice. Imagine this in this show. Every time a character shows up on the screen, there's like it pauses and it gives you like a blurb and pointing directions of like, this is this character, this is this character, this is this character.
I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation, huh?
He's the first son of Rhaenyra and
the show becomes like 2 hours long every episode because it has to pause every scene.
I'm back.
Yeah, like this show is the reason why I can remember the names, because like I watch the episode, I struggle with names, I get on this podcast, I am reminded of the names by you guys talking about it. So if I hadn't done this podcast, I'd struggle. Like all of my buddies can't remember anybody's names.
My parents struggle with that kind of thing all the time. Yeah, with the show.
I'm more of like you were saying that how like your friends are like only in for the action. Like I'm in for both. Like I want like good action, of course, but like I like the political stuff, but like a lot of the fucking earlier political stuff, I don't know, man, just bored the shit on me. Like because I had no fucking stakes.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I mean. Like, I think we as nerds are more interested in, you know, the whole thing, you know, put together. But I think that general audiences really just want to see cool shit happen more than just like political drama.
Oh, I totally agree with on that sense.
Like,
but like
I would react to like certain things where I was like, oh shit, he just announced her. I was like, heir, that has huge implications for like the rest of the realm.
Yeah,
like all that stuff. I was like playing along, but like overall, I was like, what the fuck is the point of it?
Yeah, Sam, you got to remember that, like, when I'm talking about general audiences, we're talking about the same people that can go watch the Marvel movies out of order and still enjoy them.
That's what I get. What you're saying. I get absolutely what you're saying. Like that the general audiences are like dense. Like they just don't care. Like, we're they'll put on a show and be like, "Oh, it's Big Bang Theory." I don't give a fuck. It's whatever.
Exactly. that unfortunately that represents probably 90% of people.
Oh, absolutely.
The general audience's favorite TV show is like Law and Order or some shit.
I just
Right.
mean though that like for the people that do care, it is a little bit like
Yeah, I think it's easier for people like us to get into this because, again, we're nerds. We like the source material, but also we're dungeon masters and D&D players. We care about writing good stories.
Yeah.
So for people like us, it's more intriguing to watch some of this stuff. Even like pushing through some of the boring parts are worth it because we know there's going to be a payoff. But for the big dum-dums that sit around all day and watch like 2 seasons of The Big Bang Theory, like they don't give a shit about that.
yeah.
What the funny? Why is Sheldon on this?
Imagine, Sheldon's fucking
Bazinga.
actor in Game of Thrones.
I think they need
That's
more.
his dragon's name.
I think they need more
my
autistic
God.
representation in Game of Thrones.
Oh man, I'm just imagining Sheldon with Targaryen hair riding a dragon
Oh my
called
God.
Bazinga.
Bazinga! Go!
Bazinga!
I hate this.
I
Bazinga,
want this
fly,
as
we
a
gotta
show.
kill Bazinga!
I would watch this.
No, Bazinga, what are you doing?
And then
Listen to me.
This is what Game of Thrones
he
needs.
eats
We
someone like he
need
just goes like absolutely brutal on people sometimes.
we need more names like Sheldon. I can remember Sheldon. I can't remember Aegon, Aemond, and Rhaenyra, Rhaenys.
I'm pretty
They're
sure
too similar.
that I don't know if it was this episode or one of the
What's so hard about remembering Lucerys and Jacaerys and Aegon and and
Yeah, what's
and
so hard
Aemond
about
and
that?
Daemon and
We're gonna get the Sesame Street house, I think, next season. I don't remember what it was, but like they mentioned,
Yeah, like
they
there's
mentioned
some.
the Grover, and there's the people in that family have the name
Grovers and-
like and Elmo and Oscar, and I think the whole family literally has Sesame Street character names. I find that amazing.
Every
Isn't on-
Targaryen or Valarian has like all of their names sound like some sort of German breakfast food. I
And
just
the
can't
Why
amount
do
of
you gotta
people
do that, Richard?
the
Why?
amount of people that are like, oh, to like immortalize this character, we're gonna or this ancestor, we're gonna name fucking 50 children after them. We got Aegon the Conqueror, we got Aegon the Second, we got Aegon the other one.
It must suck living at Storm's End. Like, I get that the implication is that it's always doing the storm, so like maybe build a castle away.
I don't think it is always stormy. I think it's like.
I
it's
think
just-
isn't that the
really
lore?
stormy.
I thought that was the thing, like that they were like
No,
that the
it was
castle
built-
against like the gods because the storm destroys the castles or something, doesn't it?
There was a storm. Yeah, no, there was a storm god whose daughter was stolen by the first Baratheon, I think, and so the storm god's like, no, fuck you, give me back my daughter, and so starts destroying every castle that's built, and the only one that is left standing is Storm's End, and the storm like stops.
Okay, I
think that's the story.
I think I remember hearing a thing though where it was like, wasn't it Brandon the Builder that helped build Storm's End, and it kept falling down and it kept falling down and kept falling down, and then they finally
Let's
built
see.
it. And
One
then
of the
maybe.
strongest castles in the realm, Storm's End was once the ancestral tree of the Storm Kings of Hel's Styradon, extending back thousands of years. The castle is said to be protected by spells woven into its very walls that prevent magic from affecting it or passing through it.
Nothing about Brand the Builder.
Let's see. History, origin. Let's see.
Because like I think that, like the idea, I'm not against the idea of there being a perpetual storm around Storm's End. I think that's like a cool thing. I think that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and
the
it
mighty
works
fortress
within the
was-
world too.
Yeah.
For centuries, facing terrible weather of Shipbreaker Bay. Legends claim that it was built by Durin Godsgrief,
Okay, never mind
the
that.
first Storm King. during the
Durin's
Dawn Age.
God.
There can
That's
only be one Durin.
Durin Godsgrief.
absolutely what that is too, though. You like for sure.
Others believe that a young boy who grew up to be Bran the Builder advised Durin on his
Oh, okay. That'd be cool.
Can we just take a moment to talk about what I think is the most important and coolest thing in the show?
Yes, go.
The goddamn table at Dragonstone.
I fucking love
Yo!
that, dude.
Yes!
Did Daenerys
Oh.
or like fucking Stannis just
Daenerys-
not know about that feature?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, if you stick fire underneath it, it lights up all cool.
You know what though? Fucking, I when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? Fucking, I'm glad she like had this, like she had the same love for this shit like her dad, because her dad would have fucking lost his mind over this table. I think. Viserys would go fucking nuts. I'm surprised he didn't take it and fucking put it in the Red Keep.
Yo, I want one of these in my place so I could build cool
Right?
minis on it.
Hey, dumb
Man.
question. Is in the books, is that like a thing, like 100%, or is that a thing that the show added? Like this,
I have no-
the table from even like
I-
Game of Thrones, like when back in that show, like even like the
I
map
mean,
table.
like I think that is like the table like Aegon used when he was planning his conquest of Westeros, because they had Dragonstone. That was where they like landed before King's Landing. So like, I think yes, they had that, but like I don't know if like it was like described to have like the fire underneath and shit. I think that is
I want to
like,
know how they made it.
Yeah.
Not in universe, like in real life.
It's
What did
painted.
they
gonna.
do?
You know
they
what?
just
Like,
bought
you
some
guys,
lights from Michael's and just struck it under some glass under the table. Like that's really what that was.
you guys know with like Dungeons and Dinner, the tables I want fucking one of those.
Right?
When I get
Be
one.
Awesome.
So,
Like,
I mentioned this when we
Richard-
were talking about Rings of Power. How like if you're making something in a fantasy universe, it even if it is a fantasy material, it has to resemble something real. And this table, I think, is a perfect example of that. Where like it's realistically, it's probably just plastic with some LED lights under it, but it looks so real. Like they nail it. Looks like it's some kind of table carved from like obsidian or something. It's amazing.
Well, I think
looking.
it is that carved of obsidian.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? That's actually what it is. Perfect.
This prop.
Me too.
It's
real bad.
Like, I don't know if you know, like, I don't think we've ever spoke about this, Richard. Like, my end goal in life is to own this gaming cafe. So yeah, like that, like having one of these shit on my table and like these practical effects.
That's your end game.
That's straight up my end game. My end game in life is to own my own gaming bar.
Fuck yeah, dude. I want to have like, I've always wanted to have like a house with like a tower almost to have like just strictly for like D&D and TTRPGs and shit.
Do it. I mean,
Just
it's
have like the
expensive,
coolest fucking D&D room ever.
This table alone, like my buddies when we were watching it, they were like, "Richard, why don't you make D&D maps that look that cool?"
Wow.
I'm like, okay,
mean.
Yeah, yo,
that
actually,
stings.
you know
That
what
stings
though?
more than I thought.
Yeah, no, that fucking sucks. Because one, your map's fucking kick ass. Two,
Thanks,
fucking your stream last night with the fucking train ship. Yo, that was fucking amazing.
Thank you. I nearly ripped all of my hair out making that map.
Go check out Richard's streams.
I don't. Yeah, no, go check it out. Like that alone was like I like because we would like I think we would talk about how like D&D streams are boring to watch, but like actually no, I think it was Cinder that I was talking to about that. But like I
Something
feel
I'd
you
agree
might
with,
have
though.
yeah no like exactly. I think like you've like it's when you have like when I was watching that, even if like the descriptions was slow paced and stuff, it felt like it was fucking going because the map was moving and shit. Yo.
Thank you. Yeah, something that I strive for with my D&D game is to ride this balance between making it look as close to a Super Nintendo game as possible, while still making it feel like D&D.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, I think me and Sam, especially, I think we ride hard on that aesthetic vibe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We
like,
try
concepts,
to
I
like
think.
emulate stuff like intensely.
Well, I don't want to sideline us too much, but that makes or breaks a D&D stream, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like
if you want your D&D stream to stand out amongst the billions of D&D streams, it has to have something unique. So thankfully we're artists, so we can do that.
Yeah, we do that.
But
yeah.
I've seen plenty of D&D streams where it's like I have no interest in this because it's hard to jump into someone else's story, but it's even harder when it looks boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, where like aesthetically,
Anyway, that map
like
is sick though.
aesthetically, when you haven't like done anything to like make it unique, it's very hard to see something and be like, that's the one I want to watch at episode like 58. So
yeah, and this going back to House of the Dragons, this show just absolutely nails realistic looking aesthetics. Like even just like set designs, right? So
yeah,
I don't want to like keep shitting on Rings of Power, but like let's compare the set of like when they're walking around in Numenor to any set in House of the Dragons when they're walking around. Like there's one example I can think of is when not Sauron is walking around in like a back alley in Numenor and gets into like a Batman fight. That whole set just looked like a set to me. It's like, oh, like stone walls, stone floor, no decorations, just easy set. Whereas everywhere that we see in House of the Dragon where anyone's walking around, like this looks lived in. It looks real. And it's insane that it's on such a lower budget.
I think that's true. I think it's hard to make that. I don't know, because like to me, like they just have different vibes. Like the worlds just had different energies to them. Where it's like
and Numenor is much cleaner of a place
like,
than anywhere in Game of Thrones.
In that sense, I don't know. That's hard.
Isn't it crazy that Rings of Power had such a high budget that now it's making me look at House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones as low budget. When these are like super expensive TV shows.
One of the most goddamn expensive shows ever created.
Right?
It's a low budget TV show.
By all accounts,
actually,
Game of Thrones is one of the highest budgeted TV shows ever made, but Rings of Power just dwarfs it.
Speaking of budget and stuff, I will say there was one bit where, like, this is me being very nitpicky and gripey about, but there's a scene where like at the beginning where Damon's like with all the if you want to like turn cloak, you can.
Oh,
like that scene where like you see Cyrex's where you see Cyrex's head. I think that's the only time like I'm like, okay. No, sorry. Is it Meraxes?
No, Caraxes.
Oh, Caraxes. I want to say, yeah,
that's the dubstep dragon, right?
When you see I said Cyrexes. Yeah, when you see Meraxes, like you can like it looks CGI. That's the only time I ever like was like, yeah, that doesn't look like it's there.
Which moment is this? What are you talking about?
It's where like he's like where Damon's talking to the King's Guard outside.
Keep on saying Meraxes.
Yeah, no, that's but again, like, right. But like you know what I'm saying,
AJ.
I even corrected you. You still said it wrong.
No, but like you say, like I can't believe you're getting on me. You're getting on me about the names right now when like you've been doing it all like the entire time. And, like, I do it once.
Yeah, but now I'm on the names, man. I got the names now. We got Maeve.
Yeah, no, but like, can I not slip up at the end? Am I not allowed to do that?
I corrected you and you still said it wrong.
Cass is over here like, Meraxes is a very autistic dragon. That this episode more than any episode solidified to me that particular dragon just has vocal dubstep. Like every time that dragon makes a noise, I'm like wop, 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 wop. Like all the other dragons like roar and stuff. This one just sounds like a synthesizer, which is sick. I love how it sounds.
What do you want from me, man?
Yeah, it's clearly like a messed up dragon. There's something wrong with it. Just like there's something wrong with Damon.
Yeah. Loved this episode a lot. I think it's fucking sad that it's over already. It felt like the quickest 10 weeks of my life, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
This show came and went way too quick. I want more. And yeah, like I said at the beginning, we're going to have to wait goddamn 2 years for...
It's crazy for you to even say that it's been 10 weeks. Like my brain is having a hard time like rationalizing that.
Yeah.
It's been 10 weeks.
When did this show start?
Did this show start in the summer?
Believe it or not, folks, we still got goddamn 4 episodes left of Andor, so there's that to go.
Hey man, I think that'll be good.
I think that'll be fun. That's what I'll say.
Why are you guys hating on it so much, man?
I think it's very bland, but
I love it.
You're bland, you fucking whitey.
you milk toast Canadian. I think it's a shame that Andor isn't getting the views that it needs.
I haven't even seen actually like the rating things because I've heard that being a discussion, but I don't
think it's getting bad ratings. It's just not getting a lot of.
It's getting really good ratings for sure, but I've heard that the viewership is down.
Viewership has been down, and I think that people just don't have general audiences, the big dum-dums, don't have the patience for slow building TV.
I tell you that
they want what they say they want. Because like a lot of like fans are like, we want more like grounded, realistic show, and then they get one and they're like, oh, we don't, not like that though, we don't like this.
Not like that.
We want more action.
I think it'll do better when it's all released, if I'm being honest. I think that it'll be a show that like people binge. Like
I think that the biggest problem with it, and I don't I'm steering us in the wrong direction. I don't want to talk about Andor, but I think the biggest problem with it is that it's about Cassian Andor. That's the biggest issue with the show. Is nobody gives a shit about Andor.
Yeah.
It really could have been about other things, I think, and they could have named it something different and it would have been fine.
This show could have literally had any other main character
featuring
anyone.
Cassian Andor in one episode.
Yeah. Like it doesn't need to be a show about Andor. I think it would have been a better show probably if it like, because most people, myself included, being a Star Wars nerd, when I saw like there's going to be an Andor show, I was like, Andor, that guy from Rogue One,
Who the fuck
Okay.
cares about
Yeah,
him?
literally. And then
Whatever.
Well, even worse, it was like, oh, and he's gonna get a 5-season show, which then they smartly were like, we're gonna make this 2 seasons. Sorry about that. to
Like he's
scare
not
you.
even the best character in Rogue One. He's
No,
like
not
the
at all.
4th best.
I mean,
like, I
even
would've
then,
rather
I
have
feel like there
watched,
are a bunch of other characters even like above him, more than 4 for me.
Yeah, like the
Krennic, fucking like anybody.
the droid.
I want a show about that tentacle monster.
Yeah,
oh
I'll
my
take
god,
that too.
the Boar Gullet. Yeah,
Gullet.
let's see that motherfucker show up again. Boar Gullet knows.
Gullet knows.
Fucking what was Forrest Whitaker making like one of the weirdest acting choices of his life? I don't know, man. It was a weird one.
Something I do want to point out, we might have talked about this briefly in a different episode, but one thing that I really like about this show is how different all the dragons look, because it actually kind of fixes one of my issues with the original Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when you see the giant skull underneath the castle, it's like, why does that skull look so different than Daenerys' dragons, who all look pretty much the same? And this show shows that, like, okay, the dragons can all look very different.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it was cool at the time, but when you get all these different designs and stuff, man, it's so much better to have some variation in like aesthetically different looking dragons. I get that they were all
Absolutely.
I don't know what the implication is actually, because like they might have been brothers, I guess, from the same clutch.
They
I don't know
were,
if that
yeah.
helps.
Yeah, I think they were from the same clutch, which maybe changes things. But it's cool to see that there's different types of dragons in Game of Thrones, even if they don't, go full on like How to Tame Your Dragon with the labeling of them.
Like, what did like
They
Sea
are
Smoke look
different.
like? Because like what like I'm trying to wonder if like because one of them looked a little bit like Cyrax at one point. I was like, that might be from the same clutch. Like, who knows?
Smoke is a foam fire dragon.
A foam fire dragon.
That's
Did you just make that up on the spot, or did you take
made
that?
that. Yeah,
I
just made
love that. I
love
want
that.
to
I'm
take
in.
that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
write that down as a note or something. That's
Make an entire
the
bestiary
foam
for me,
fire
and
dragon.
I'll buy it.
I love
I'll
that.
buy the whole thing.
Damn,
Like I'm a sucker. You guys might pronounce this as bestiary or bestiary. I've heard both.
a bestiary.
I think it's actually pronounced bestiary,
If
but I'm
that's
not
the
100
case,
percent on that.
fuck.
That doesn't make
Is
sense.
it bestiary? Because isn't it with beasts?
I might be wrong. Don't quote me on this, but
I'm gonna look this up. But
I'm a sucker for those things, though, dude.
Yeah.
Like I remember before I ever even played D&D, I used to buy monster manuals because I thought they were just cool.
Oh man,
like-
it is spelled bestiary, isn't it?
I used to buy all the kind of cryptid books I could, all the kind of mythological monster books I could,
Same.
just to like look through the cool like imagery that they would present. Right?
I think for me it comes from
Fucker, it is bestiary.
That's
it's
so
pronounced
dumb.
bestiary. Yeah.
That's so dumb.
It comes from my love of dinosaurs, but like if they released like a Game of Thrones bestiary, I would buy it instantly.
There must be.
Like
Surely.
hardcover. I'd have that
I
on
think
my
like
shelf.
it'd be like the world of Ice and Fire would have like the closest thing to it, maybe.
I'd love to see that because, like, I guess dragons are the only animals that are like different in Game of Thrones, but we don't really
necessarily,
see
like,
a lot of
because,
weird
like,
No,
stuff.
because
there
like there's
are
also like the Manticore. There's
like
the
yeah.
Manticore in
well,
Game
like
of Thrones.
literally, like in the
Scorpions.
southern continent, they have wyverns. Like they're just like they're dragons
wyverns,
that
yeah.
don't breathe fire, pretty much. I think, and they're like
Oh, neat.
they're small, but they're fucked
Yeah,
up
I
looking
need a
from what I've seen in
bestiary.
art. It looks cool.
I'd love like something. I don't know. One of these probably exists, and I don't have it. But I'd love something like the Silmarillion, but for Game of Thrones, just to like have like all of the like encyclopedic stuff in front of me.
Yeah, no, there is. Like it's straight up just called the World of Ice and Fire. I think that might be.
And
what
I bet
you-
it's like $200 hardcover too.
No. I think like it's. Let's see.
Well, because
That's some of my favorite stuff.
I don't know
in
where
this
all the
show's
information
lore
is that
development.
like Alt Shift X gets about
£30.
like, the further parts of the world, but it's probably in that or something, right, Kaz?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because like I
Yeah.
don't know how that would come into the story like naturally. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
information.
Let me
Kaz, if you
just
find a
jump in.
link to that, send that to me on Discord because
I'll send you the
I'll
app.
buy that.
I just put in the Amazon. Like yeah, no, there is stuff like that. Like it is.
Because like
Love
if there's like the other 4 continents that we barely even get to explore, like then holy fuck, like there must be cool shit.
There's 4?
I'm pretty sure there's like because like not counting Essos, there's like Sothorios.
I thought it was
Sothorios,
Westeros and Essos. I thought that was
Essos,
it.
Westeros, and there's the Sunset Sea. No one knows what's beyond it, and that's to the west of the world. And
I
there's
love that
also the land,
Westeros.
the shadows beyond the Shire. It's called, and like that's also like no one knows past that.
I am a huge
SI?
fan of when worlds are built out and they're left intentionally vague.
Yeah.
Like
no, you'll
Middle
love
Earth is like that. The
Yeah.
world of The Witcher is like that as well, where they only know this one region. We don't know what's past that. I love that stuff. 'Cause it just
I'm
it
kind
I
of
think
so much to the
this would do it for
imagination.
you then.
I'm
Like,
kind of wrong
it's-
because I thought that there was something confirmed beyond Essos to the right more so, but there's only Ulthos to the southeast and Sithorios to the south. So,
yeah.
but I mean, there are more. Like, there are obviously a bunch more. We're only on a small portion of this world. Like,
Yeah,
Love
like
that
they,
stuff.
I
it's like
love
you
it.
don't know past. Like, if you're into like Lovecraft and stuff like that, I think, and you want vague, evocative world building, I think Martin does a very good job of. It, like it's almost too vague sometimes, I think, but it's also like very good at like just giving you things to like, to inspire you with things.
well, it feels
Yeah,
very
if there's anything that
intentionally
Martin
vague.
does well, Martin admittedly emulates Tolkien.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that he does well, it's world building and leaving just enough vague, just like Tolkien did, to where you're like, what's over there? And there's no information, so you just kind of have to, you just go crazy thinking about it. And I love that. Stuff.
Like that's like it falls in line with like one of my favorite like things tools as a DM to like give players to like a drive for something. Like when like you look what's there, who no one knows.
That's why
Exactly.
I do
That's-
like, in my world, like I make my
Yeah.
world like huge, but like in the sense that like it's very largely unexplored. So like if they're like, oh, I wonder what's in this specific like tile here, I'm like, I don't know. I'll make it up when you get there. Like it could be something completely random, you know? Like
That's the best tool to have as a DM is to not have an explanation for everything, so that you can just come up with it when you need to.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes things supernatural. And
Oh,
not
that's
not
the
like
wrong
not like supernatural. You know what I mean?
Supernatural, eh?
Oh God, why don't do you guys want to do a revisited show where we go through every episode and discuss it on Supernatural?
Supernatural
I
ended after season 5, and I will not have my mind changed on that.
Wow,
What?
I've only seen a bits of like season 1.
I saw season
proper-
1 and 2.
I
proper
am all
ending
caught
of
up on all
Supernatural.
15 seasons.
Boy.
So the show was supposed to end after season 5, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
kept renewing it. But season 5 that's as far as I'm willing to go with that show. That's the proper
Well, that's
ending.
unfortunate because it gets really good.
No. Mm-mm. Once, like, I kept watching.
That's what
once they
Walking
get into,
Dead
like,
keeps telling me.
Leviathan and shit, that's when I'm like, nope, I'm out. Anyway, House of the Dragon's a good show.
Honestly loved it. Can't wait for season 2 in 2 years. It's gonna be amazing.
You're gonna have to.
We
We got a long wait. That's the problem with doing the seasons so far apart, though, is that like I'm gonna have to rewatch all of season 1 to even remember
yeah.
what the hell happened 2 years from now.
Like that's the bummer
Mm.
about it. Absolutely. Like I don't. Because like apparently like I'm shocked that they haven't already jump started on production. I get it. We need breaks. I get it. But like the way
This ties into what AJ was saying about people not really wanting what they want. Like we want VFX artists to get, past this whole crunch culture, but that means we have to wait.
But I just
Yeah.
mean like there's got to be like a cool.
I'm willing to wait. I'm just gonna rewatch it.
There's got to be a
Yeah.
system that of cycling people out in some capacity that could work. I don't know. Like
I don't think so. I think that when it comes to like VFX and like artists, you can't cycle artists. Like if you have a guy who's spent the last year doing the textures for the dragons, you can't swap him out with another guy because they're
Because
gonna
like,
have
not
two
gonna know the same
styles.
stuff, you know?
Right.
I
it's
don't know,
very
man. Like
different
that's
with
the
art.
whole thing about that, isn't it? That like these teams are supposed to be able to emulate that. That's what being on like.
Not really. So when you have teams like this, you'll have an entire team who does nothing but animate the like dragon's wings.
Yeah.
So you can't really cycle them out because each team is responsible for a different thing.
It reminds me of like the story in school in like college. One of the animating teachers, he was like, "Yeah, I have a colleague who I went to school with, who the entire time he just got really good at making fur, just fur, and he got a really good job about just making fur."
Right. Like I can speak
No,
with
but,
a
like-
little bit of experience because I'm an amateur animator, but like you guys have seen Richard,
Yeah.
obviously that's animated. If somebody that had never seen that before if you took me out and put somebody else in, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this? I don't understand the way this guy did this."
If I think another like a good example of like that kind of stuff as well is like the guy who did a lot of the concept art for Detective Pikachu. He was doing like a bunch of like fan art that was just Pokemon in the real world, and like they hired him for like concept art on
Didn't
but
know
like
that, but
when
they
I
do
was in
that because
animation
that
school,
person's
like
got a vision.
when I was in animation school, they also just try to tell you like that you have to be able to emulate what other people do so that you can seamlessly fall into the workflow. Like I think that that's just something that
There's some
Well, like
level
if it's like specialized stuff,
right,
I think
there's
they
a level of routine that people can follow, but I think that when it comes to like the actual like animation is one thing, but when it comes to like the actual like painting of the artwork, that's where it's like I don't think you can cycle that out as easily.
Yeah.
Hell, even I've never animated something anywhere near as complex as a goddamn Game of Thrones dragon, and I can only imagine that that's probably immensely difficult. And if you swap one guy out and put another guy in, he's going to have to then play catch up on what the other guy did before and just to figure out how he did it. So it's probably a lot more difficult to cycle through people.
Like, because you're saying that, but then like I'm saying, like that's the whole thing is you're supposed to be able to grab the file and go off of it. Like that's what I was taught. Like
yeah, but I think it's
perfect
easier
world.
to teach one person how to do something really complex instead of teaching.
Yeah, it's the too many cooks thing.
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying is that there are more because like that I don't know because like there are animators wanting to get these jobs like out there. Like there are many people out there.
Like I think this is also in line with like that thing that we talk about how like a great writer like can like it's the same thing in line with like how like certain writers might be like good at a thing this time and then like not that time. It's same with like the art kind of thing. Like there's a specialist, but there's also unknown artists that are just as good and might be even better. But I would think keeping it in house is probably the best way to go about it.
But I'm just saying expand the house. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe like I think almost even like just teaching more people to like do it so like it's not like you are like it could be like you're like making it like that like artificial reliance on like what's the word for it? Where like artificial scarcity, where like you are the only one that can do it. But then like I think that like is as an artist at least I think that's like just bad.
Kaz, I'm going to say something positive about your accent. The way you said artificial scarcity sounded so cool. I wish I said it like that.
Kaz, I'm just kidding. I can't say anything negative, man.
No, Sam, I think that you're probably overestimating just how many professional animators of that caliber there are out there.
Yeah.
That was it. What I was gonna say. Like I think Gollum, like how they did Gollum in Lord of the Rings, like the production on. I think it's like the same. Like
yeah,
it was a very specific way they did that.
Like there's workshops that do specifically this that only have like 10 people that are like extremely highly trained specialists that only do this one thing.
Yeah, imagine being the guy from the story that I was talking about who got really good at fur, and like then he's hired specifically to do fur, but then they're like, he's like, I need a vacation and break. They're like, all right, we're gonna get this other guy from this other department who's like really good at scales to do this fur.
See, but that's not what I'm saying. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. Because you're immediately grabbing some other guy who's. Like, I'm saying this other guy could be also good at fur. Like there could be many people good at fur in the world.
Yeah,
like
but
what are you talking about?
Why hire two people that are really good at fur when you could just hire one and then the other guy could get another job somewhere else?
Because apparently we need breaks. Example. I don't know what to tell you. Apparently we need more breaks in the world.
Like if we're looking at like practical stuff instead of like VFX, let's say like the armor in Rings of Power versus the armor in Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings had Weta Workshop, who were top-notch masters of their craft, whereas Rings of Power, everything looks like plastic. And that's what happens when you have people who aren't as good.
Weta Workshop, fucking top class. Like, have you seen
Masters.
like not even like the like actual like products that like some of like the stylized shit they do. My brother collects the what's it called? You know the like the figures, the figurines of the characters in like this amazing style, and like they are some of the coolest like merchandise I've ever seen for like any product. Let me find them.
Hey, I don't mean to derail things right now, guys, but during this discussion, I completed my 360 Rubik's Cube.
Nice,
nice
nerd.
Oh shit! I remember.
In the grand scheme of things, it's unfortunate. I just think it's a lot less realistic that we're gonna get bigger time gaps between things because what that'll do is just make it a lot easier for people's attention to wait.
Oh, I agree
on something. So I think it's less likely that we're gonna get bigger time gaps to give the VFX people a lot more like time. I just think it's I don't know. It's hard. Bai said, here's the thing though, if you need someone to do a specific thing, you can get someone who can do that specific thing. If the person that was doing it once to go on vacation, he would be swapped out for someone that can do the same thing, that is specialized in the same type of thing, in the same style. That was a lot of words, and I might need to reread that again in my head.
Not a fish to just grab anyone. Yeah. But like,
So I kind of I agree with that, but I also think that there's more to it than just like being a specialist at a thing. You know, there's also like I don't know if VFX artists have unions. There's the whole job like profession aspect of it. Like if I went on like if I had a job and I was like, I need a break, I'm going on vacation, and while I was on vacation they hired someone else, what if that person turned out to be better than me, and then when I go back they're like, we don't need you anymore? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of nuance to this that it's hard for us as outsiders in the industry to point out.
Yeah, I think like this is me just speaking purely as an artist, because or just the way I am as an artist at least, because I am 100% all about like giving my skills to someone so that like they don't have to go through the struggle I had to go through to understand a certain tool. Like I've put all this effort into learning this. I don't mind sharing it with people. So that's why I come from the perspective I do on that. Like it's the reason I run my art shops and like workshops the way they are. It's like So I think like that's my thoughts on like this kind of thing. Like when like someone has a very specific skill set in like animation and stuff, and like you're on this big budget thing, I think like it's almost like a duty of yours, or my thoughts on it are like it's like your duty as like the person to like teach more people to like be just as good as you, so that you can. But then it's also like it's like again it's going back onto the artificial.
I think it's more of like an
you
integrity
being the
thing
only
too.
one.
Because like my with my work with Respawn, like after every season comes out, every half season, they give you like a free day off on the weekend to like just rest up and give you an extra long weekend, just to break like in that time like if they did that longer for other things to like it's been a hard time to give you like a month off to rest up, like my job isn't that hard. They could just fucking replace me, but they don't, because I think it's more of an integrity thing.
Yeah. So Bai says, if you're choosing to go on vacation during that project, I don't think the company would employ you due to the possibility of setbacks. So that was, an example in my case.
I was more so suggesting with that one though, that like it was after the project is done and we were in the middle of going between.
Yeah,
things,
and then
what I mean? Like that's
cycle
what I'm
in a new team. Yeah, I get that. I just don't think that happens.
No, yeah, it doesn't.
For reasons that are more complex than we can make it out to be, being outsiders.
But then I just think that like with what we're saying, that it's just going to continue to be in a shitty state. Like that's the reality of it then. Like that's.
I don't think it is in a shitty state. I think that we need to restructure the way we think about VFX.
Yeah, I think we just need to let the fucking animators have a fucking short break, and that's it.
Let them take their time and do the thing. I mean, it sucks we have to wait, but like it's hard work.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
on my own end as an artist, like if I started drawing something and then I was like, all right, I need to take a break now, and then somebody else jumped in and finished the picture, I'd be a little pissed. Yeah. Well, what the fuck, you know? But it's a complex issue, and I don't think that the four of us are going to solve the VFX problem in the industry.
That's the thing, right? Because like we're just a couple of dudes, but like all I'm trying to say for the most part is like I just don't think it's more. I think it's way more likely that the industry just continues steamrolling in the direction that it's going, rather than actually giving people more time. Like I don't see that happening. Like I see that like with the success of things like coming out like Marvel and like the rapidness of it. Yeah, like sometimes there's controversy around like how like they're treated. I don't think it's really going to change anything a lot of the time, but
I hope it does. I think that the real issue is just as simple as that there aren't a lot of people who are masters of this craft, and we're looking at it as if it's like retail work. Like you can't just hire a new guy to do it. Like you have to have a very specific set of talents and a very specific set of schooling or just experience to do this. And it's not an easy thing to hire for. Not to mention you have to go to where the workshop is.
Yeah.
Which like if I'm in Atlanta right now and I'm an experienced graphics or a CG animator, and the Game of Thrones people want to hire me, I now have to uproot my life to go to wherever they're doing that. So I just think that if we look at overall VFX workshops and they're located at location A, and there's a billion more animators located all across the world, sure, there might be a good number of them, but how many of them are going to be willing to uproot their whole life to go do this job that's going to suck?
I mean, depending on the job that it is, I really wish that we would have a better outlook on the working from home kind of thing nowadays. Considering,
Mhm.
I don't know, like I think that there are a lot of opportunities.
Normally I'm
for
all
that.
about that. When it comes to creative pursuits, though, I think that working from home is actually detrimental to a creative atmosphere.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like having done this like for 3 years, like essentially day in day out. Fuck, man.
Yeah, like we're streamers. I stream and do nothing else. I go crazy being stuck at home all the time, and that actually stifles my creativity.
Yeah.
Like just doing this with you guys and like seeing what you guys do, like that inspires me. Like sometimes I look at Kaz's artwork and I'm like, oh man, that looks sick. I want to do something like that, and then I'll do it and I'll shamelessly steal it.
Yeah, yes, steal. Yeah.
I think like communication, like
No, straight up.
Discord and stuff, and having like chats with
It's-
people is really helpful.
Yeah, no, like even like before I like went to see you guys, like the perspective you guys would give me on things, wild.
Yeah,
and like
I think like we're way off topic, but if
yeah,
we,
but, like, I think it's still fun. Like,
I do D&D token art. Kaz does D&D token art. I think that if the two of us were sitting at a table next to each other and we were both tasked to make the best token art we could, the sum of both of our parts would be better than the individuals.
Yeah, and like that's like that goes back to the like that point that I was mentioning where like I've got like my own skill set and I want to give that to people, and so like that's like don't like. And like that's like my thoughts on it, and like I could like and like I think I'd imagine if we were to be doing that, Richard, you would like then be showing me the way you go about things, and then like I'd almost be like, oh shit, that's a lot faster and smarter than what I do, and then I would start doing that, and I'd try experiment, and we'd bringing that shit together. Like Sam like has shown me so many things through the way he works, and like he might not even say things, but I'll see him do like little things, and I'm like, shit, yo. Stealing up mine.
Sam,
yeah, no, that's it. Like
Sam,
good
do you
eyes
do
steal.
the backdrops for the show.
Yeah. Oh
I mean,
yeah.
Don't
Yeah, he does all
steal.
of
Ask if you could use it. Don't just steal art.
No, so like no. Like I will iterate when I say steal as an artist, like stealing, like so a
More
technique
learning from yeah.
a technique I highly recommend is like you like looking at like your favorite artists, be it artists you surround yourself with, artists you aspire to be like, and artists you enjoy, and pinpoint little things about them that you love, and then bring that into your own and try make it work for you. It won't always work. Sometimes you'll think, this is cool. I can't make it work the way I want. Fuck it. But that's fine. But you've learned a skill by doing that, and it might not be applicable in like for the next 50-100 pieces. But then all of a sudden on 50-101 piece, shit, this thing might work, and you've built up a repertoire of skills by stealing from other artists in this way to make it applicable then.
I think stealing
and like
is
it
the
worked.
wrong word though.
It's a bad word. Like yeah, maybe it's a bad word, but I think for what I mean, like, because like I think stealing, like when I say like stealing art and like stealing a style, I think is a different thing. Because like you can, if like you drew my style, AJ, it would be a completely different thing. Even if like you drew my style, like because we have completely different outlooks and worldviews. And I think a good example even on that is like when I was looking at the Argos piece you did last year for Secret Santa, I noticed like there was bits of jewelry you added that I didn't add in the original. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking genius.
Yeah,
And I only just realized a year after, AJ.
Different artists are going to be better at different things for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the backgrounds to the Squadron podcasts, and I'm always blown away by how cool they look.
Sam, yeah,
I suck at graphic design, so like for
Same.
like when it comes to like fonts and like making stuff look presentable, I suck at that. I can do illustration and animation for days.
Sam
but
just
graphic
has, like, a
design, I just
fucking-
can't do it.
he's got
a
the
mind
fucking
for
eye.
like pixel art because like
Yeah,
it looks like he makes it look so easy. You make it
right.
look so easy and
So
seamless,
and
Sam, but, like,
so fast.
but, like if I were to do that, I'm like, fuck, I don't even know where to start, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's like it's funny
this
that you say
background
that.
would take me days.
See, because I
It would take
whipped
me
this
so
up and I
long.
was like, I fucking hate this. This looks like trash to me. I like,
love it, dude.
I look at it and I honestly, my biggest regret, and we'll change this for season 2. I wish the fire at the bottom was flickering.
I was just gonna say
I could have done that. I could
that
have
would
done
have been that.
Oh no,
mwah,
dude!
like the
what you
final
gotta do is
touch.
make the background the map.
Oh,
Yo.
oh man, season 2 thoughts.
I do map commissions. Just
He does, yeah.
All right, let's wrap
Richard,
this up.
we're gonna have to talk after the stream. All right, I will set up the raid. We're gonna raid into Fumble, folks, today. Speaking of our civilization
Civ
game, yeah.
They've got some
Represent
brand new
the
stuff
gnomes,
today.
dude. Represent the gnomes.
I was talking to Ben earlier that Fumble Folks has some cool new stuff up. So let's enjoy.
Like, have you seen their module stuff that they do?
I have. I was
they've
looking
done
at
a collection.
some of it today, and I'm blown away by some of Fumble Folks' work. It's crazy professional.
Because like the streaming thing is just like it's that's the
Like a side thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like to promote the stuff they do. And like I remember we met at like it was a convention. Like they came up to Birmingham, so I went to go see them because it was just down the road from me. And like I saw like the modules and shit. Like it's like just like a few pages, and it's the entire one shot. You can read it there as you're playing, and like
Excuse me, sorry.
Wild. Yeah, chat, when we get to Fumble Folks, make sure you click that follow button. They're good people. They're part of our network. Good people.
They are. Yeah.
Amazing people. Yeah, we love them. Also, we will be back tomorrow. We will be Richardless, unfortunately, but we're going to be talking about Andor episode
9?
No, 8?
You're saying we're gonna be dickless?
We're going to be dickless tomorrow. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have our dick with us, but it'll be fun.
Long pants dick. What was it? Was that what you said, Richard?
And also, I don't even remember. Thank you so much, Nalan, for the comment on the pixel art. I appreciate that so much. If you like that, check out on Friday. We got our Roro game, 6 p.m. PST. It'll be our last of the month because we're just going hard at playing our horror theme game. So every Friday we've been playing, and next week I don't think we're gonna be playing after this, but yeah. So check that out. And then we got our big D&D horror one shot coming out on Saturday,
29th. It's gonna be so good.
Night at the
Tuesdays.
Oh,
sorry.
No, you
Keep
go.
going with your promo.
You go.
Tuesdays we have on my stream we do Mumble Quest. For if you like D&D but you really suck at it, do it.
I also stream D&D and art too.
Bye.
Bye. McClunky. McClink. Oh shit.
Monkey.
I'm trying to take an active effort at